Don't pick up that phone. If you answer it, everything changes. My wife's voice had this edge I'd never heard before. Sharp. Desperate. The phone kept buzzing on the coffee table between us, her sister's name flashing on the screen. Why wouldn't I answer Claire's call? I reached for it. Her hand shot out, grabbing my wrist. Please. Just give me 5 minutes to explain first. That's when I knew. 15 years of marriage, and I'd never seen fear in her eyes like that. I'm 34. She's 32. We'd been together since college, married for 15 years, and up until 3 weeks ago, I thought we had the kind of relationship other people envied. I was wrong about a lot of things. The phone stopped ringing, then immediately started again. It's probably important, I said, pulling my hand free. Wait. I answered. Hey Claire, what's? Oh, thank God. Listen to me very carefully. Claire's voice was shaking. Whatever my sister told you, whatever she's planning to tell you, you need to know she's been lying. For months. And it's so much worse than you think. I looked at my wife. The color had drained from her face completely. I'm listening, I said slowly. She's going to spin this. She's going to make herself the victim. But I can't. I can't watch her destroy you like this. You've always been good to our family. You deserve to know the truth before she controls the narrative. My wife was backing away from me now, shaking her head, mouthing the word no over and over. What truth, Claire? The girls' nights. The book club. The yoga retreats. None of it was real. She's been meeting with Diane and Patricia. They've been planning something. Something about your business, your assets, making sure you. Claire's voice cracked. Making sure you lose everything in the divorce. The word hung in the air. Divorce. There's no divorce, I said. But even as the words left my mouth, I was looking at my wife's face, and I could see it. The guilt. The calculation. The panic of someone whose plan just imploded. She was going to file next month, Claire continued. After the business acquisition goes through. After your company's valuation triples. She's been documenting everything, building a case with her friends. Diane's husband is a divorce attorney. They've been coaching her for 6 months. 6 months. I thought about the last 6 months. How she'd suddenly taken an interest in our finances. How she'd been so supportive of my business expansion, encouraging me to take on more debt, more risk. How she'd suggested I put the new properties in my name only, to simplify the paperwork. How she'd been so understanding when I worked late, so independent with her new friend group, so content to spend weekends apart. You're lying. My wife finally spoke, but her voice was hollow. Am I? Claire shot back through the speaker. Tell him about the shared Google Doc, Melissa. Tell him about the spreadsheet you 3 made, breaking down every asset, every account, every investment. Tell him about the voice recordings you've been making during your arguments. My wife, Melissa, closed her eyes. Tell him, Claire's voice turned hard, about the fake dating app profile. The one Diane created using his photos. The one you were planning to accidentally discover next month to establish infidelity. Jesus Christ, I whispered. Claire, you're ruining everything. Melissa finally exploded. You don't understand. I understand you turned into someone I don't recognize. Claire shouted back. I understand you were going to destroy a good man because Diane convinced you that you deserve more, that you've sacrificed enough, that you should get everything because you supported him while he built his business. I set the phone down on speaker. My hands were shaking. Is any of this true? I asked Melissa directly. She looked at me for a long moment. I could see her calculating, weighing her options, trying to figure out if there was still a way to spin this. Some of it, she finally admitted. But not. It's not how Claire's making it sound. Then explain it to me. Right now. She sat down, hard, on the couch. I was unhappy. For a long time. You were always working, always focused on the business. I felt invisible. So you decided to divorce me and take everything I've built? I decided to protect myself. Her voice rose. Do you know what it's like, watching you pour everything into a company while I'm just there? Supporting, cheerleading, waiting? I gave up my career for you. I moved 3 times for your opportunities. I earned something. You could have talked to me. When? She laughed bitterly. Between your meetings and your business trips and your networking dinners? When exactly was I supposed to have this conversation? Literally any of the 1,000 times you said, I'm fine when I asked if something was wrong. Claire's voice cut through the speaker again. Tell him about the affair, Melissa. The room went silent. What? I heard myself say. There's no affair, Melissa said quickly. Too quickly. Patrick from her gym. Claire continued relentlessly. She's been sleeping with him for 4 months. That's what this is really about. She wants out, She wants the money, and she wants to be with him. The unhappiness angle is just the justification. I looked at my wife. Waited. It was only twice, she whispered. And it wouldn't have happened if you'd been present in our marriage. Something inside me just stopped, like a machine shutting down, one system at a time. Get out, I said quietly. What? Get out of the house. Now. Tonight. This is my house too. No. I stood up, surprised by how steady my voice was. This is my house. That I bought. That I've been paying for. And you're going to leave, right now, while I figure out what the hell happens next. You can't just kick me out. Watch me. Claire, are you still there? I'm here. Can Melissa stay with you tonight? Absolutely not, Claire said immediately. She made her choices. She burned that bridge when she tried to manipulate our whole family into thinking you were a bad husband. Mom and Dad already know everything. She can stay with Diane since they're such good friends. Melissa's face went white. You told Mom and Dad? I told them the truth, Claire said. After I saw the Google document. After you asked me to lie for you about where you were last Tuesday. I'm done enabling this. You had no right. I had every right. You were going to destroy a man's life. For what? Money? Excitement? Some fantasy Diane sold you about starting over. I picked up my car keys. I'm going to a hotel. You have 1 hour to pack a bag and leave. I'll have my lawyer contact you tomorrow. Wait, we can fix this. Fix what exactly? I turned to look at her. Really look at her. The 6 months of planning? The affair? The fake evidence you were going to manufacture? Which part do we fix first? She started crying. Real tears, probably the first honest thing she'd done in months. I made mistakes, okay? I got lost. Diane and Patricia, they made it sound so logical, so fair. They talked about women's rights and emotional labor and how men like you always land on their feet while wives get nothing. So you decided to make sure I didn't land on my feet. I decided to protect myself by destroying me. I headed for the door. 1 hour, Melissa. Then I'm calling the police and having you removed for trespassing. This is insane, is it? I paused in the doorway. You spent 6 months plotting to take everything from me. I'm giving you 60 minutes and your personal belongings. Seems pretty generous, all things considered. I left, got in my car, drove 4 blocks before I had to pull over because my hands were shaking too badly to hold the wheel. My phone rang. Claire again. Are you okay? She asked. Not even a little bit. I'm sorry. I know this is. I should have told you sooner. I found out 2 weeks ago, and I've been trying to convince her to come clean, to stop this insanity. But she wouldn't listen. And tonight, when I knew she was going to try to control the narrative, I couldn't let that happen. Thank you, I said, for being honest. Even though it cost you your sister. She cost me my sister, Claire corrected. The moment she decided to do this. The Melissa I grew up with wouldn't have, her voice broke. I'm sorry. This isn't about me. It's okay. Do you have a good lawyer? I have a business attorney. I'll need to find a family law specialist. My husband has a colleague. Really good. I'll text you her information. Claire, why are you helping me? She's your sister. Because what she's doing is wrong. And because you're family too. You've been my brother-in-law for 15 years. You came to my wedding. You were there when my dad had his heart attack. You've been nothing but good to all of us. And I won't watch her destroy you with lies. I closed my eyes. I need to go. I need to think. Okay. But listen, document everything. Every message, every call, every interaction from here on out. She's going to try to salvage this. And when she can't, she's going to go scorched earth. Noted. I hung up and just sat there in my car, watching people walk past on the sidewalk. Normal people having normal evenings, their lives not currently imploding. My phone buzzed. A text from Melissa. I'm sorry. I love you. Please come home so we can talk. Then another. Claire is lying about some of this. She's exaggerating. Please. And another. Patrick meant nothing. It was a mistake. We can get past this. I turned my phone to Do Not Disturb and drove to a hotel. The next 3 days were a blur of lawyer consultations, document reviews, and slowly understanding just how deep the betrayal went. My attorney, Rachel, the one Claire recommended, was horrifying efficient. Within 48 hours, she'd compiled everything we needed. The Google Doc alone is damning, she said during our second meeting. It's literally a blueprint for defrauding you in the divorce. Asset concealment strategies, plans to undervalue marital property, even notes on how to manipulate the custody situation if you had kids. We don't have kids, I said numbly. I know, but the fact that she had a section labeled, if applicable, tells you how thorough this planning was. This wasn't anger or impulse. This was calculated. Can we use it in court? Claire forwarded it to you, and you're listed as one of the people whose assets are being discussed. Legally, you have every right to this information since it directly pertains to you. Yes, we can use it. What about the affair? Did you know about it before Claire told you? No. Can you prove it? I thought about it. Maybe. She said it was Patrick from her gym. I know which gym. I could probably get records showing they checked in together, times they were both there. Don't. Rachel held up a hand. Don't do any investigating yourself. That can look like harassment. I'll hire a private investigator if we need to establish the affair, but honestly, we might not need to. The planning documents are stronger evidence of fault than infidelity in a no-fault state. This feels insane, I said. A week ago, I thought I was happily married. You're not the first person to sit in that chair and say those exact words. Rachel's expression softened slightly. I know this is overwhelming, but you're in a strong position legally. She planned this poorly, left digital evidence, involved too many people, and thanks to Claire's conscience, you know about it before she could execute. We'll file first, establish your narrative, and protect your assets. What if she fights dirty? Then we fight back with the truth, which is that she committed adultery, planned to defraud you, and manufactured evidence to support a false narrative. No judge is going to look kindly on that. I wanted to believe her. On day 4, Melissa showed up at my office. My assistant tried to stop her, but she pushed past, right into my conference room where I was meeting with my business partners about the acquisition. I need to talk to you, she announced to the room. Everyone went silent. Not now, I said calmly. I'm in a meeting. It can't wait. Then it'll have to. I looked at my assistant. Please call security. Don't you dare. Melissa turned on her. I'm his wife. You're his soon-to-be ex-wife who's currently trespassing in his workplace. My business partner, Kevin, said coldly. You should leave. This is between me and him. Nothing is between you and me anymore, I interrupted. Everything goes through our lawyers now. You know this. Rachel sent you the letter. That letter is insane. You're trying to freeze all our accounts. Our accounts? I stood up. You mean the accounts you were planning to drain as part of your strategy? Those accounts. Her face flushed. I don't know what Claire told you, but she's mentally unstable. She's always been jealous of us. There it is, I said quietly. The smear campaign. Right on schedule. Security arrived. 2 guards I'd known for years. Ma'am, you need to leave. The older one said gently. I'm his wife, and this is private property. Let's go. They escorted her out. I could hear her shouting all the way to the elevator about how I'd regret this, how she'd take me for everything, how I was making a huge mistake. Kevin whistled low. Well, that was something. I'm sorry, I said to the room. That won't happen again. Don't apologize. My other partner, Michelle, said firmly. We've all heard the rumors this week. Claire's been telling anyone who'll listen what her sister tried to do. You have our full support. We're also accelerating the acquisition timeline, Kevin added. Getting that closed before your divorce is finalized. Protecting the business. You don't have to. We're protecting our investment. Michelle cut me off. And our friend. Let us do this. I nodded, not trusting my voice. The messages started that night. Not from Melissa, from her friends. Diane, you're making a terrible mistake. Melissa loves you. She's devastated. Patricia, this is why men like you never change. A woman tries to protect herself, and you destroy her for it. Some number I didn't recognize. Hope you're proud of yourself. Abandoning your wife when she needs you most. Real class act. I blocked them all. Then Melissa's mother called. I want to understand, she said without preamble. Claire is saying things that don't sound like my daughter. Help me understand what's happening. I took a breath. Did Claire send you the documents? She sent me something. A Google document. But that could be anything. That could be taken out of context. It's a detailed plan to defraud me in our divorce. Complete with strategies, timelines, and asset concealment tactics. Your daughter wrote it with her friends. Silence. There has to be an explanation, she finally said. There is. She had an affair, decided she wanted out, and wanted to make sure she took as much from me as possible in the process. Melissa wouldn't. Melissa admitted to the affair. To my face. Before I knew about the rest of it. More silence. This is going to destroy our family, she whispered. I know. I'm sorry. You're sorry. She sounded surprised. I loved her. For 15 years, I loved her. I'm sorry it came to this. I'm sorry Claire had to choose. I'm sorry you're caught in the middle. But I'm not sorry for protecting myself from someone who is actively planning my destruction. She started crying. I don't know what to do. You don't have to do anything. This is between Melissa and me. But if she's telling you I'm the bad guy, if she's saying I abandoned her or destroyed the marriage, you should know the truth." Claire said the same thing. "That Melissa's been spinning stories, making you sound neglectful and cold. I probably was neglectful sometimes. I worked a lot, but I never cheated, never lied, and never spent 6 months planning to take everything from her." "No," she agreed softly. "You didn't." We talked for another 20 minutes. By the end, she was on my side. Not that it mattered. I wasn't keeping score of family members. But it was one less person Melissa could manipulate into supporting her narrative. The divorce filing happened on day 7. Rachel filed first, including the Google Doc as evidence, Claire's testimony about the planning, and a request for a fair division of assets based on actual contribution and conduct. Melissa's response came 3 days later. It was everything Claire warned me about. I was controlling, financially abusive, emotionally distant. I'd isolated her from friends and family. I'd refused to let her work. I'd monitored her spending. Every single statement was a lie. "This is pretty standard," Rachel said when I called her, voice shaking with anger. "When someone gets caught doing something indefensible, they flip the script, make themselves the victim. But people will believe her. Some will. But we have evidence. Documentation. Claire's testimony. Your financial records showing she had full access to all accounts. Your text messages showing her taking trips, seeing friends, having complete freedom. We'll dismantle this piece by piece." "How long will this take?" "Months, probably." She's going to fight. Her attorney knows the case is weak, but they'll drag it out, hoping you'll settle just to make it stop. "I won't." "Good. Because you shouldn't." The breaking point came 6 weeks later. I was at my favorite coffee shop, one of the few places I could go without running into anyone connected to Melissa, when I overheard 2 women talking at the next table. "Did you see Melissa's Facebook post?" one said. "The one about surviving an abusive marriage? God, it was heartbreaking." My blood went cold. I always thought her husband was weird, too focused on work. You could tell he didn't appreciate her. Claire tried to defend him in the comments, but everyone jumped on her, saying she was choosing a man over her sister. Honestly, good for Melissa for getting out. She's so brave. I pulled out my phone, opened Facebook, found Melissa's profile. The post was long, detailed, full of lies. She described a marriage where I controlled every aspect of her life, where I criticized her appearance, her intelligence, her worth, where I made her feel small and worthless while I built an empire on her unpaid labor. The comments were overwhelmingly supportive. Hundreds of people telling her how strong she was, how she deserved better, how I was clearly a narcissist. Claire had indeed tried to respond, posting, "This is not what happened, and you know it." She'd been eviscerated in the replies. I took screenshots of everything and sent them to Rachel. Her response was immediate. "This is defamation. We can use this. Don't respond. Don't engage. Let her keep digging." But I couldn't just sit there. Couldn't watch her destroy my reputation with lies while claiming victimhood. I did something I probably shouldn't have. I created a post of my own. Not attacking her. Not calling her names. Just the truth. I posted the Google document, redacted the financial details, but left the strategies, the planning, the calculated nature of what she'd done. I posted screenshots of her texts admitting to the affair. I posted a simple statement. I was going to stay silent and let the courts handle this. But I won't let lies define me. This is the truth. Make of it what you will. The response was immediate and explosive. Within an hour, the post had been shared hundreds of times. The comments were split. Some people defending Melissa, saying the documents were fake or taken out of context. Others expressing shock and dismay at what she'd tried to do. My phone started ringing. Friends I hadn't heard from in months. Business colleagues. Even my parents, calling from their retirement home in Florida. "We saw the post," my mom said. "Sweetheart, I'm so sorry. I probably shouldn't have done it." "No," my dad cut in. He'd picked up the other extension. "You should have. That woman was destroying your name. You had every right to defend yourself." But the real fallout came 2 hours later. Diane, Melissa's divorce attorney friend, posted her own response. A long screed about how I'd violated Melissa's privacy, how posting divorce documents was illegal. It wasn't. How I was clearly the abusive partner trying to silence her. Patricia chimed in with her own post about believing women and not falling for manipulative men. Then the local news picked it up. A reporter reached out, wanting to do a story about divorce drama gone viral. I declined. Melissa apparently didn't. She gave an interview painting herself as the victim of a vindictive husband trying to humiliate her publicly. Rachel called. "What did I tell you about not engaging? I know. I'm sorry. I get it. But now we're in damage control mode." The good news is, her response to your post was even more damaging than the post itself. She just gave us even more evidence of her willingness to lie publicly. This is a nightmare. It's a mess. But we'll navigate it. In the meantime, take the post down. We've got screenshots, and keeping it up just extends the drama. I deleted the post. Too late. It had been screenshot and shared everywhere. The court hearing was scheduled for 3 months after I'd filed. In those 3 months, my life became unrecognizable. Melissa launched a full social media campaign painting herself as a domestic abuse survivor. She gave interviews to women's blogs about financial abuse and coercive control. I lost clients. Not many, but enough to hurt. People who believed her narrative, who didn't want to work with someone accused of abuse. I also gained clients. People who'd followed the story, read the documents, and saw through the lies. My business partners stood by me. So did my real friends. My family. Claire, who'd been disowned by her own sister, and parents who chose to believe Melissa's version of events. But the worst part was the isolation. The not knowing who believed what. Walking into rooms and feeling people's eyes on me, wondering what they'd heard, what they thought. The day of the hearing finally arrived. Rachel had prepared me extensively. What to say, what not to say, how to present myself. "The judge has read everything," she said as we walked into the courthouse. "The documents, the posts, all of it. He's seen cases like this before. Just tell the truth and stay calm." Melissa was already there with her attorney, not Diane, who would have had a conflict of interest, but someone Diane had recommended. A woman named Karen who had a reputation for aggressive tactics. Melissa looked thin, tired. She wouldn't meet my eyes. The hearing was brutal. 3 hours of testimony, evidence presentation, and arguments. Karen tried to claim the Google Doc was a fabrication. Rachel destroyed that argument with testimony from Claire and metadata proving when it had been created and modified. Karen tried to claim I'd posted the documents illegally. Rachel proved I had every legal right to defend myself against public defamation. Karen tried to paint me as controlling and abusive. Rachel presented text messages, emails, and testimony from mutual friends showing the opposite. By the time we finished, even Karen looked defeated. The judge took a 15-minute recess, then returned with his preliminary ruling. "I've reviewed the evidence extensively," he said, "and I find the claims of abuse by the respondent to be without merit and potentially defamatory. However, I also find that both parties contributed to the breakdown of this marriage through failures in communication and, in the respondent's case, infidelity and planning that showed clear intention to defraud the petitioner." He ordered a fair division of assets based on actual contribution, meaning Melissa would get what she'd put into the marriage, but not the windfall she'd been planning. He ordered her to cease all public statements about the divorce or face contempt charges. He set a final hearing date for 6 weeks out to finalize everything. We'd won. Mostly. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. 2 weeks before the final hearing, I got a call from an unknown number. "Is this?" The voice gave my name. "Yes." "Who's this?" "My name is Patrick. I'm calling because I think you should know something about Melissa. The gym guy? The affair. I don't need to know anything else." I started to say. "She's pregnant." The world tilted. "What?" "She's pregnant. About 8 weeks. And she's planning to tell the judge it's yours." "That's impossible." "We haven't." I stopped. Realized I was telling a stranger intimate details of my life. "I know," Patrick said quietly. "Because it's mine. We were together up until 3 weeks ago. She told me she was leaving you, that we'd be together. Then the court stuff happened, and she cut me off completely. Yesterday, she called and told me about the pregnancy. Said she was going to claim it was yours to get a better settlement. Why are you telling me this?" "Because what she tried to do to you, planning all that stuff, lying about you, it made me realize who she really is. And I don't want my kid raised by someone like that. But I also don't want you trapped raising my kid because she lied to a judge. What do you want from me?" "Nothing. I just wanted you to know so you can protect yourself. Get a paternity test ordered. Don't let her trap you." He hung up before I could respond. I immediately called Rachel. "This is actually helpful," she said after I explained. "If she tries to claim pregnancy to delay the divorce or affect the settlement, we can request an immediate paternity test. And if she refuses, that tells the judge everything he needs to know. This is insane. It's desperate. She's losing, and she knows it. The final hearing came. Melissa showed up wearing loose clothing, crying before it even started. When it was her turn to speak, she dropped the bomb. Your Honor, I've recently discovered I'm pregnant. I'd like to request a delay in the proceedings until after the birth, as this significantly affects the settlement discussions. The judge looked at me. Were you aware of this? No, Your Honor. And I have reason to believe the child isn't mine. Melissa's face went white. That's a serious accusation, the judge said. I have testimony from a witness claiming to be the father, who says my wife told him she planned to claim the child was mine for financial benefit. I'd like to request an immediate paternity test. Karen shot to her feet. This is outrageous. Is it? The judge cut her off. Your client just revealed a pregnancy that could significantly impact these proceedings. The petitioner has a right to know if he's being asked to support a child that may not be his. We refuse the paternity test, Karen said quickly. The judge's expression went cold. That's your right. But I'm going to draw the inference that any reasonable person would draw from that refusal. He looked at Melissa. Is there anything you'd like to say? She was crying. Real tears now, not the calculated ones from earlier. It doesn't matter whose baby it is, she finally said. He abandoned me. He destroyed my life. He owes me something. He owes you what the law entitles you to, the judge said firmly, which is a fair division of marital assets and nothing more. Your conduct throughout this marriage, the planning, the affair, the public defamation, and now this attempt at deception, has been thoroughly documented. He issued his final ruling, a 60-40 split of assets in my favor, citing her fault in the breakdown of the marriage. No alimony, given the short duration of the marriage and her employability. A restraining order preventing her from contacting me or posting about me publicly. It was over. That was 4 months ago. Melissa had the baby. A boy. Patrick's been fighting for custody, and from what Claire tells me, it's gotten ugly. Diane and Patricia apparently dropped her once the truth came out publicly. Turns out they're not so loyal when someone's reputation is actually destroyed rather than just planned. Claire and I still talk occasionally. She feels guilty about what her sister did, even though none of it was her fault. I keep thinking I should have seen it, she told me last week. Should have known she was capable of something like this. No one saw it, I said. That's the scary part. My business is doing well. Better than well. The acquisition went through, and we're expanding. The clients I lost came back after the truth came out, most of them with apologies. I'm seeing a therapist, working through trust issues, anger, the whole mess. And I'm single, not dating, not looking, just existing in the aftermath. Sometimes I think about the 15 years, try to figure out when it went wrong, what I missed, what I could have done differently. But mostly I think about how I almost lost everything because I trusted the wrong person completely. The final move, the pregnancy lie, that's what destroyed me, in a way. Not financially, not legally, but emotionally. Because it showed me there was no limit to what she'd do, no line she wouldn't cross, no lie she wouldn't tell. And that's the thing about betrayal. It's not the knife in your back that destroys you. It's realizing the person holding it would stab deeper if they could.